In the ancient city of Tus in Khorasan, modern-day Iran, was born a child who would go on to become one of the greatest minds in Islamic history. His name was Abu Hamid al-Ghazali. To the West, he was known as Al-Ghazal. To the Muslim world, he became Hujjat al-Islam, the proof of Islam. Al-Ghazali's father passed away when he was young. He and his brother were raised by their mother, who ensured they received an excellent education. By age 15, he had already mastered Arabic grammar, the Quran, Hadith, jurisprudence, and early Sufi thought. At 17, he studied under leading scholars in Jurjan, then returned home briefly before continuing to Nishapur, a center of Islamic learning. There, he studied under Imam al-Juwayni, one of the most revered theologians of the time. Al-Ghazali quickly stood out. He was sharp, insightful, and curious. His teacher appointed him as a teaching assistant, rare for someone so young. Al-Ghazali absorbed Asharite theology, Shafi'i law, and Islamic logic with remarkable ease. He also studied philosophy, learning the methods of thinkers like Al-Farabi and Ibn Sina. Though not a philosopher himself, his deep understanding of their ideas would later become crucial. In 1085, his teacher passed away. Not long after, Nizam al-Mulk, the Seljuk vizier, invited him to teach at the Nizamiya College in Baghdad, the most prestigious academic institution of its time. Al-Ghazali, barely in his mid-30s, became the youngest professor at the Nizamiya. Crowds gathered to hear him teach. Scholars, politicians, and students alike admired his knowledge. But success wasn't enough. Deep inside, Al-Ghazali was unsettled. He began to question the very foundations of what he taught. Could human reason truly lead to truth? Was logic superior to revelation? With so many religious sects and philosophical schools, who was right? This internal crisis reached a breaking point. He lost his voice. He could no longer lecture. He resigned and left Baghdad. His heart was searching for certainty, not just in books, but in the soul. He traveled for nearly a decade, living in Damascus, Jerusalem, Mecca, and finally returning to Tus. During this time, he reflected deeply on the nature of truth. He turned toward Sufism, seeking not just knowledge, but experience. In solitude, prayer, and meditation, he found healing and peace. Al-Ghazali later described this moment as a divine gift, a ray of light that entered his heart and rescued him from doubt. From that moment, he became convinced. While reason has its place, true knowledge is experiential. It is spiritual. It is from God. Out of this experience came his masterpiece, Ihya Ulum al-Din, the revival of the religious sciences. This monumental work blended law, ethics, and spirituality. It was not only scholarly, it was transformative. It showed how the rituals of Islam were not just rules, but pathways to purify the heart. But Al-Ghazali didn't stop there. He launched a powerful critique of philosophy in his famous book, Tahafut al-Falasifa, The Incoherence of the Philosophers. In this work, he refuted key teachings of philosophers like Ibn Sina and Al-Farabi. His aim was to protect Islamic theology from being distorted by Greek ideas. His critique was so influential that it nearly ended the influence of Greek philosophy in the Muslim world. He also refuted the Batiniya sect in works like Fada'i al-Batiniya, defending Sunni orthodoxy and warning against esoteric deviations. Through his writings, Al-Ghazali redefined the role of a scholar. He was not only a jurist or theologian, he was a reviver, a mujaddid, who united the mind and the heart, law and spirit, reason and faith. Later, he returned to teaching, but this time with a renewed vision. His emphasis on ethics, sincerity, and spirituality left a lasting impression on generations. Among his final works was Munkid min al-Dalal, Deliverance from Error, a spiritual autobiography that details his journey through doubt, philosophy, and back to faith. Al-Ghazali passed away in 1111 at the age of 53 in his hometown of Tus, but his legacy never died. His works were translated into Latin and studied by Western thinkers like St. Thomas Aquinas, Maimonides, and Pascal. His influence extended beyond Islam into Jewish and Christian theology, philosophy, and ethics. In the Muslim world, his teachings continue to shape how scholars, students, and seekers understand the faith. Through his balance of intellect and intuition, Sharia and Tasawwuf, Al-Ghazali became one of the most beloved and respected scholars in Islamic history. He was the scholar who questioned everything, and in the end, found peace in the remembrance of God. He showed us that true certainty is not an argument, but an awakening. This was Imam al-Ghazali, the proof of Islam. If this story inspired you, like, share, and subscribe for more biographies of timeless Islamic legends.